Art, you're a VIP. Please, enter the party. Enjoy yourself. Tell me if you have any problems. I'll make sure you have a great experience. Budokan, glad to see you made it. And who do you think you are, number 24 in Darwin's game? Trying to get in on this party? Let me get a look at you two. What's that? You brought the party mix? And you promised to do something dumb but inoffensive? Alright, you two can go in, but don't give me a reason to regret this. Now, Sorcerous Stabber Orphen! I see you decided to get all that cosmetic surgery done. You look at least 20 years younger now. Here's the thing, Pops. This is one of those hip parties, and I'm going to need to see if you can run with the in crowd. So please, step into the designated spot so I can check you with the review monitor. For those not in the know, Sorcerous Stabber Orphen is a remake of the 1988 series of the same name. About Orphen, real name Corlancelo, who is both a sorceress, a person who can do magic, and a stabber, someone trained in the way of battling mages without magic. He was being trained in both until his adopted sister did oops and turned into a dragon. Corlancelo didn't cope well. Abandoned his name and spent 5 years looking for a way to reverse this and doing odd jobs. They eventually fixed the whole my sister's a dragon thing, but 5 years of being a dragon does not do the mind any good. And given the whole fixing things left behind a power vacuum in the Magic Society, Orphen's dragged back into the mix as he finds himself entwined in the fate of the land. So Orphen's story starts with a quest but gradually expands due to the unknown consequences that resulted in his involvement, as well as him growing as a character thanks to the company that tags along with him. As with the case with older animes, this includes one guy friend, one girlfriend who he'll probably end up with, one pet, and a group of troublemakers. Well, apart from the chorus back then, this hasn't actually aged quite well. As with the case of Brock from Pokemon, the guy friend is kind of a perv, and that's a bit of a yikes, and Brock's only protected by nostalgia, and let's just say Sorcerous Stabber Orphen doesn't have that same nostalgia to work with. There's also the fact that the girl companion is kind of considered useless by most of the cast, and while I can maybe give you a pass as this is Orphen's growth arc, of him trusting others to help him as he's coming off 5 years of working solo, there's a bit of concern, and I'm going to need to keep an eye on you as you did get renewed for 2021. Now for the troublemaking duo, while Jesse and James are fun because the show plans around them being the villain of the week, and they're actually quite fun given their personalities, Vulcan and Dordan, the dwarves, are annoying, as they are just pricks. They're antagonistic to Orphen, not because they want to steal something from him, it's because they borrowed money from him, and he's trying to get that money back from them. Thus, we gotta get revenge on him. And while we're at it, we'll try these harebrained schemes to make money because we're lazy. They also don't progress anything in the plot, and there's just no reason for them to be there besides, oh, they're joke funny characters, oh boy. And I'm just like, why do they keep coming back? How many times do we have to teach you this lesson? So other than showing its age, does Sorcerous Stabber Orphen do anything wrong? Yes, it can't animate a horse to save its life. Like, look at these. Look at this. Look at them. Animation's hard, I get that. But come on, Studio Dean. Where you're like, yep, we're almost done. We just gotta finish the animation on the models on the horses, and we're ready to ship. And then someone just busts opens the door and says, stop right there. We are out of budget. Don't you dare finish that horse. To more serious issues, there are some inconsistent pacing and fights in the series. There's the fight against Orphen's clone, which is quite good, but then you have the other fights that just fizzle out, like the fight against the Uruk class. Which is a shame, as these could have been better fights, especially given the circumstance, as they are trained sorcerers and stabbers, but they get jobbed out just so we can get our sidekicks an easy win. Again, this is maybe more guilty of the source material, but I can't say. But you did have 2 episodes and an OVA dedicated to flashbacks, and I think those could have been trimmed down a bit, and you could have given yourself more time for fights. Other than that, the world building is fine, the audio is fine, visuals are fine unless it's a horse. It's okay, it definitely shows its age, but it could be hell of a lot worse. But it could also be a lot better. There's no reason to go out of your way to watch this series. Hell, it's not even the best old school magic fantasy series on Funimation, as Slayer exists, and it's much better. But that's a review for another day. To the matter at hand, Sorcerous Stabber Orphen, as much as it sounds like some edgy fan comic on DeviantArt, is mostly serviceable. It floats around the average to fine mark, and yeah, you could be watching worse, but you could be watching something with more impact. Only notes for your Season 2, fine-tune your fights, lean back off the perv, keep your character arcs on track, stay away from Deus Ex Magic BS, and learn how to animate a horse, and maybe I can give you a B instead of a C.